Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, this isn't a topic that I usually cover on my channel, but this is something I've had discussions about with family, friends, and acquaintances. And I guess you can say that I've noticed a specific theme emerging, and that's the baby mother epidemic. Now, before I move on, this is not a black man / black woman bashing video. I'm aiming to critically analyze both ends of the spectrum. I know on my channel I usually talk about black issues, so I understand that some will be confused at my use of non-black woman in the thumbnail, and I did this to counter a certain argument or belief that only black women find themselves in this situation. So I'm not implying that this happens more to non-black women than black women or vice versa. I've noticed that stories about this subject always get pushed within the black sector of social media, and I've also noticed that as long as the father of the child is black, then regardless of what race the mother is, it will definitely reflect badly on the black community because other racial groups don't openly condone this behavior. Well, at least in my opinion. I feel like now that we live in a more liberal society, well, at least more liberal than the society our parents grew up in, many people have a more relaxed view towards sex and marriage. So I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw one of those TikTok videos, and the caption read something along the lines of, "For a generation that claims that there are no good men, we sure are getting pregnant a lot." And I thought, finally, a TikTok post that actually conveys wisdom. Again, this is just my opinion. The way that this generation is normalizing baby mother culture is a cause for concern. I don't mean to sound as though I'm judging those who are in this predicament, but I just don't think it's fair nor right that children are being unfairly stripped of the opportunity of being raised in a two-parent household or seeing both parents happily married because people are not being mindful of who they're creating children with. Now, I understand that some might say that my way of thinking is old-fashioned, but I personally think that you should wait until marriage to have children. Now, I know that some will say that marriage doesn't fix things and you can still get married and end up being a single mother, which is true. However, it is slightly harder for a man to just up and leave when the sacrament of marriage is involved in comparison to when it's not. And also, how comes people can see that marriage can't fix things but fail to see that babies can't fix things? And I don't know, I've always thought that a man getting a woman pregnant and then not marrying her is a little bit of a red flag in my opinion. I feel a little bit funny saying this on YouTube because I know that there are many women in this situation who might think that I'm looking my nose down at them for being in this predicament or thinking that I don't know what I'm talking about. But guys, I mean, think about it. You've just put your life on the line to give this man the lifelong gift of a child. You're living with him, cooking for him, cleaning for him. You're fulfilling all of your wifely duties, but yet he's still unsure about whether or not he wants to marry you. Okay. You know you want to get married, he knows you want to get married, but for some reason he's just not taking that step yet. And all these men have to say for themselves is, well, marriage is just a piece of paper. No, sir. Can you just admit that you're comfortable playing house? You know that she's a good woman and that you won't be able to find a woman that's as down as her or willing to put up with what you're currently subjecting this woman to. And let's quickly address the marriage is just a piece of paper idea. I can't tell you how many men I've heard use that exact same excuse to justify not marrying the mothers of their children. But when things don't work out between them and the mothers of their children, they'll get with somebody else and marry them after a few months. And this woman didn't have to wait the length of time that the woman prior to her had to wait. She didn't have to give him a child. But yet he married her in a short space of time. How many times have you seen things like that happen? That's why when I hear men say things like that, I do think it's baloney, because I personally think that they use this to deflect away from the bigger issue, which is that they just don't want to marry the mothers of their children. I think that most men know that women in general have an innate fear of being a single mum, and because of that fear, he knows that it will be harder for you to leave when he's slacking in the relationship. And say you do pluck up the courage to leave, he doesn't have to worry about you moving on so quickly because of the stigma attached to single mothers, which prohibits single mothers from being able to start fresh. Why do I say that? Because because of the negative connotations associated with baby mums or, single mums, we've heard many men express not wanting to date single mothers. However, women are a lot more open to that, which is why it's easier for single fathers to move on in comparison to single mothers. The reason why it may seem as though I'm mainly addressing the women in this video as opposed to the men is not because I want to take accountability away from the trash men who walk out on their children or make women single/baby mothers, but because we as women tend to draw the short end of the stick in these particular situations. Men don't. That's why they're not complaining about baby mum culture. That's why they think it's okay to have multiple children by multiple women, which I should make a video on one day if you'd like me to do that. But when I say that we usually draw the short end of the stick, what I mean is, aside from the physical and emotional changes that take place during pregnancy, you have to endure postpartum depression, the frustration that comes with the pressure to snap back after pregnancy. And say in the unfortunate case where you and your child's father separate, you're going to be the primary caregiver of the child. As previously stated, it's going to be a lot harder for you to date than your child's father because of the stigma attached to single mothers. Also, because you're the primary caregiver to the child, it's going to be a lot harder for you to go out and mingle and meet new people because you're spending most of your time with your child. Whereas that isn't the case for your child's father. He's able to leave and go out whenever he wants to. Why? Because he doesn't have a child to take care of 24/7. You're the one who has to plan your dates around your childcare. And say you do meet somebody, you have to move strategically because you're bringing this man into your house around your children. Men don't have to bear all of this stuff in mind. I remember having a conversation with a man who was in one of my lectures and he revealed that he had a son. He spoke ish about his child's mother, did everything in his power to completely decimate her character by saying that she was crazy. And then he follows it up by saying that he hadn't seen his son in 15 years. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's not that these women are, quote, crazy. A lot of the times, these women are begging these men to be fathers to their children. It's not that these women are crazy. It's that she's tired of taking full responsibility for a child that he helped create. These men will do everything that they possibly can to try and demonize the mother of their children, to make themselves feel better about the fact that they're not the best fathers that they can possibly be. My question to men who think like this is, well, if the mother of your child is so crazy, then why leave her to have full custody of your child? And it's not that I'm saying that it's always the man's fault and that women can't be toxic and that women aren't flawed, because that's not true. Women aren't perfect. But my thing is, women are always held accountable. Even in situations where it's not the woman's fault, we're always blamed. And when talking about baby mother culture, whenever women are in predicaments where we're left to be single mums, we're always blamed. We're always told, well, you should have chosen better and that's your fault for missing out all the red flags. How about we hold men to the same standard? The next time a man tells you that his ex-partner was crazy, well, tell him that you should have chosen better and why did you miss out all the red flags and why do you keep attracting crazy women? As stated before, I was unsure about whether or not I wanted to make a video about this topic because I know that there's going to be women who are currently in this predicament who are going to be in the comment section attacking me, telling me that I'm judging their situation, even though I was raised by a single mother, my father wasn't in the home, nor did he play a role in my upbringing. That is why I'm speaking out against this. My mum has always encouraged the whole don't do as I do as I say. And what I mean by that is my mum has made a lot of mistakes during her youth, which we all have. However, she's taken those experiences and used them as life lessons. She tells me these stories to ensure that I don't make the same mistakes as her, which is what any good mum would do. She expresses the importance of not picking a man based off of superficial reasons like height, how much muscle he has, how much followers he has, and more about his morals and how he was raised, and has he given me good enough reasons to believe that he'll be a good husband or a good lifelong partner for those who don't want to get married or a good father to my children? I feel like a lot of women will justify these situations because they're in this predicament themselves. So they'll say things like, well, I'm a baby mom or my mother was a baby mom and everything worked out fine, which I'm sure it did. And I'm not saying that things can't work out for you, but there are statistics that prove that people who were raised in a single parent household tend to draw the short end of the stick. There are statistics that show that people who are raised in single parent households are more likely to engage in antisocial behavior, they're more likely to go down a life of crime, they're more likely to repeat the cycle themselves, and so on. So with that, how can you now then say everything turned out fine? Maybe for you, but can you really say the same thing for the next person? It might be a learning curve for you, and you can use it to now educate your daughters on the type of guys she shouldn't go for. Because, I mean, what mum wouldn't stop their daughters from making the same mistakes that they made? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. Comment down below what you think about this entire situation. Do you agree with me? Or do you think I'm blowing this whole thing out of proportion and that being a baby mom isn't as bad as it's presented in the media? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!